But it was awful because you're watching all these people turn up in these fabulous numbers and then, you know, stilettos getting ruined. No, so just loads of festivals all through the summer. And, yeah, and I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. And I'll keep going as long as I can, really.
Right.
There's something very British about that, though, isn't there? Turning up with your champagne basket
We
in the rain.
will continue.
Yes, people don't care in England. They just turn up, don't they, and think, you know, go
Good
for
old
it.
spirit, yeah.
Couldn't have been very easy for you being on tour recently. Did they have your morning sickness on the tour bus?
I was quite lucky. I have to say, the last tour was... I did a tour with Paul Potts recently, and it wasn't quite as glamorous. We were travelling on a bus around Scandinavia and sleeping in bunks.
Bunks?
Bunks.
Oh, we're on top.
Proper bunks. I was always on bottom because I was nearest to the toilet.
Oh, I
So, and I made the big mistake of... Because there were no girls on the road. I was the only boy. Only boy? Got like a bit of breakdown there. No, only girl. And actually, you know, and of course they were drinking most nights. And I was in this little secret world with my baby thinking, you know, I hope everything's going to be all right. It was all a secret at the time. And decided to go to the loo at about 2 or 3 in the middle of the morning, you know, got up and went to the loo, you know, and they're tiny little chemical toilets. And, you know, men, it's just not... It's not glamorous. Came back with sticky feet. And I said that was my lowest point on the tour. I was lying in the bunk thinking, what am I doing? I had a Cadbury's Fruit Nut Bar, I wolfed it down. I thought, God.
This is the new album, isn't it? Natasha
Yes,
Marsh, self-titled. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, it came out last week, and it was really on the back end of the year of 2008, which was fantastic doing that. And it's a bit of some of the tracks from the old album and a mix of new, and it's all very romantic. It's kind of got an opera flavour, but it's also got some pop tracks and some film tracks as well. So.
You're going to come back and perform for us at the end of the show?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck with the album and with the other little production you've got
so
going on there.
much.
Natasha Marsh.
Thank you.
We'll take a quick break, but when we return, which one of us is quite discerning about what they put in their mouth and who couldn't care less? Back soon. Welcome back to Lisbon this Wednesday lunchtime. Still to come, we'll be chatting to everyone's favourite liver bird, Liz McClarnon, and back to perform will be operatic sensation Natasha Marsh. Now, scientists have declared war on fussy-eating kids by developing a broccoli that tastes like the more popular vegetable, peas. But why not chocolate? Why peas? But are you a fussy eater? And how do you encourage your children to eat their greens? I know this is very pertinent to you at the moment, Coleen, Nolan.
Well, that's because unless they make broccoli taste like chicken nuggets, Kira is never going to eat it because that's all she eats. And I have tried everything. I've tried making faces, I've tried hiding it, I've tried colouring it, everything. And the other day... Do you know, I think that's where I'm going wrong, Jane.
Have you tried making broccoli into little people?
Yes, and little trees with people.
How nice.
I know, and she goes,
like that.
oh, that's lovely. And I go, I know it tastes even better. She goes, no, I don't like it.
Oh.
But she also... you know, I did this test last week. I thought, I know, I'll do the blindfold test. So I blindfolded her and went out to a restaurant. No, I didn't. No, I thought I'll do a food test, and she was very excited. So what I did, because she's one of these that if she sees it, she goes, oh, I don't like it, and won't try it because of the colour or, you know.
Yeah.
So I blindfolded and I put out loads of things, and she had to, and she did taste all of them.
Right.
But she still only likes chicken nuggets.
nuggets.
Yeah. But, you know,
Is
it
it
is
a worry?
Is
Is it something you worry about?
Well, of course it is, because you always think she's not getting enough nutrition, and, you know, she's dead skinny anyway. And all. But then I have to remember that Shane Jr., until he was 12, lived on mash and beans. That's all he would eat.
Huh?
What?
That's all I had, beans, baked beans.
Well, luckily, he didn't turn out like you.
Well, the thing, it was only when I was 8, till I was about 14. But the thing is, I had baked beans for breakfast and lunch and tea. Yeah. And that's all I wanted.
Beans on toast or just...
Well, sometimes
cold
toast.
Beans.
The only other thing I had was slightly earlier. I used to have bread and jam, but I had to be under a table to eat it.
Ah.
That was the only thing.
That was only last week.
And that was a very strange one, that.
So you lived on beans?
That. Beans and then bread
and I bet you smelt lovely.
No, but that's all I wanted. But they're good for you. But you see, I've always been a faddy eater anyway. My daughter used to only eat yoghurt, avocado and honey when she was a baby. So that's strange, isn't it? Yeah. But she's grown up with the most beautiful honey and yoghurt skin.
Very nice.
So you see... Take no
green as well, like.
You are what you eat.
Yeah. You are what I am. I eat avocado and everything's green.
No, well, Stanley's very good at eating. He's very good at eating most things. He likes his veg, and he has to have peas with everything. What do you want for tea, Stanley? Pie and peas.
So that'd be quite good for him if broccoli tasted like peas.
Yeah, so he's good at
Good. You see, I think we make a bit too much of it because when I was a kid, I just wasn't hungry and I didn't want to eat the things that everybody else were eating. And we came from a pretty working-class background, so my mother couldn't nip out and get me a McDonald's because it wasn't open at that time.
You were McDonald's.
I was McDonald's
at
that time. And so we didn't have enough money to go and cook me something else. And she took me to the doctor because she was really worried that I wasn't getting enough nutrition, like you were saying about Kira. And the doctor just said, when she's hungry, she'll eat. Yeah. And basically, that was it. Yeah. I just didn't like a lot I think it's
because nowadays it's all in the paper, isn't it, about they should be eating this, they should be eating that, and, you know, so you panic a bit.
When I was a kid, I was what they call a sickly child. You remember that phrase, a sickly child? And I had very long hair, so the doctor thought the best thing was to cut it off. So they cut... Yes, because apparently, like Samson and Delilah, you remember them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if you cut your hair off, you get your strength back.
Was he a real doctor?
Samson?
If you would like to have your say on this or any of today's topics, you can log on to our website at itv.com/loosewomen and add your view to our forum. We also have highlights from past shows. We have information about all of us, particularly Sherrie, and you can find out how to get tickets to come and see your show. Are you all right? Right then, Rod Stewart and Penny Lancaster have been photographed on the French Riviera in matching outfits. The celebrity couple seem to be following in the footsteps of other famous pairings, including the likes of David and Victoria Beckham, by mirroring each other's dress sense. But is it okay to have a similar style to your partner? Or what about the same turn of phrase, the same opinions, the same habits? Or is it worrying if you start to turn into a lover-like?
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at was Samson a doctor. Come on now, get it together. Yes. No. What am I talking about? Oh, lover-likes, yes. No, well, I mean, some people like that, don't they? Some people like to dress up. We're the same, especially at certain parties. And it's, you know, it's nice. I know two couples who go ballroom dancing, and they like to get dressed up, and he always has a handkerchief the same as the dress. And I'm sorry, we've lost it. And some people like to mirror image, don't they?
Are they an older couple? So
yes.
It's slightly more acceptable in an older couple?
That's right, they are, yes. And it's a bit like the Von Trapps, you know, when she takes all the curtains down and makes the patterns and things like that. And they always had a handkerchief the same, and the jacket, and I did sort of turn into my ex-husband after a while, because he was quite bad-tempered all the time, and I thought that was acceptable, so...
So you sort of allowed him to get away with it?
Yeah, so I started to get a bit bad-tempered with him, because, you know,
you were married to him?
I was married to him, yeah, that's it. So, yeah, I can understand why people take on certain traits.
Well, I must admit, when I was... my ex-partner and I... The thing is with him, you see, I used to take on his... whenever we were out, and I'm quite gregarious, as you can see,
yes.